If you look around the Cup Series today, you would notice that the drivers' career trajectories are all different. John Hunter Nemechek got his whole video on this channel by bouncing around the top 3 series for almost 10 years. Chase Elliott, William Byron, Christopher Bell, and many more all had very straightforward rises to the Cup Series. Now some are very straightforward and some are quite unorthodox, but none can possibly be as up and down as Ross Chastain. From being a driver that drove lower mid-pack equipment in the lower series and ended up being a lovable underdog and a proven winner. So today we're going to take a look at the up and down career of the Melon Man, Ross Chastain. Now to start Chastain's up and down career, we have to throw it back to 13 years ago, 2011. Chastain would make his debut at the age of 18 with Turn 1 Racing, at that season's race at IRP. In this race, Chastain showed a ton of potential, starting the race in 15th and finishing in 10th, all on debut. This also wasn't a race of attrition. There were only 3 cautions and the race ended with a 107-lap green flag run. So this was all on merit. Chastain would make 4 more starts that season but only brought a best finish of 16th at Texas. In 2012, Chastain would go full-time in the Truck Series with SS Greenlight Racing in the 08 truck. In 2012, Chastain was about as good as he could be. Ross recorded 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, 2 laps led, a 21.3 average finish, and finished 17th in points. The problem with Chastain's 2012 season is that he had a whopping 9 DNFs in just 22 races. That is 41% of the season. Now, not all of these were on Chastain. Ross had 7 mechanical failures. But the highlight of his season without a doubt had to be the Bristol night race, where Chastain came home with a 3rd place finish. But if you don't count the mechanical failures, in the 15 races he didn't have those, he had a 16.6 average finish, which would have put him 13th in the series, above guys like Ron Hornaday Jr. and Todd Bodine. So not a bad season from Chastain, just one filled with mechanical issues. In 2013, Chastain would catch his first big break. Chastain would sign with Brad Keselowski Racing in the Truck Series as the primary driver of the 19 truck, racing for 14 races that season. The stint would get off to a slow start, but Chastain eventually got his first top 10 finish with a 9th place at Charlotte. Then a few races later, he would get his first top 5 at Pocono. But his first standout race was that year's Iowa race. Ross would sit on the pole and lead the most laps in this race. Over the course of the race, Chastain would be in the mix with Timothy Peters, Ty Dillon, and James Buescher. But with 27 laps to go, Chastain would get the lead on a restart and was cruising to an easy win. But as it's been said in racing before, nothing is guaranteed.
Play looks as though
we got
for Dillon, spinning in turn 4. The 4 of Jeff Burton and the 33 of Brandon Jones involved.
The teammates from Turner Scott Motorsports, they were battling for the 9th position.
A caution came out with 13 laps to go and changed everything. The race would restart with 6 to go, and on the restart, he would lose the lead to his teammate Ryan Blaney. But the caution would come out just 1 lap later, and they would try again. The race would go into overtime, and this would give Chastain another chance, but the caution came out once again. But on the final restart and overtime attempt number 2, Chastain got a good launch, but James Buescher, having momentum on the top, was too much for Chastain, and Ross would come up short, finishing 2nd. The next standout performance that year was the penultimate race of the season at Phoenix. He would once again put his truck on the pole, and Chastain would be in the mix all day with Eric Jones. This race ended up being all too similar to Iowa.
That have not been to victory lane. And contact is made. Peters into the wall, the 54 sliding.
Bubba Wallace is going to stay out of the wall. That'll bring the caution out. We saw how desperate Bubba Wallace was to get back to the bottom. He'd been stuck on the outside.
Chastain was in the lead, but a late race caution would bring Eric Jones right up to him, and Jones would pass him with 9 laps to go, and ended up finishing 2nd. So at the end of 2013, Chastain made 14 starts and had 0 wins, 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s, 229 laps led, and a 10th place average finish. Now you would think with the solid performances he had in 2013, he would surely get the nod to go full-time in 2014. But this wasn't the case, as they elected to put Ryan Blaney in the 29 full-time and make the 19's primary driver Tyler Reddick. So this left Chastain without a ride in 2014. In 2014, Chastain basically just took any ride available to him and made 7 starts in the Xfinity Series and 3 starts in the Truck Series. But nothing really came of these, and Chastain only managed to get a 10th place finish at Kentucky in the Xfinity Series with Hattori Enterprises. But in 2015, Chastain would get a break from Johnny Davis at JD Motorsports. JD Motorsports was a lower mid-pack team that usually ran from 15th to 25th most of the time, and Chastain would not be above the norm. Chastain raced full-time with the team every year from 2015 to 2017, and his results were decent for the team he was on. Over the 3 seasons and 99 starts, Chastain recorded 1 top 5, 6 top 10s, 14 laps led, a collected 20.2 average finish, and a best points finish of 13th in 2017. Now, Chastain was at a point in his career where he really wasn't going anywhere, and he was on a mid-pack team, and he was actually even running almost the entire Cup schedule for a backmarker team. And well, he just wasn't going anywhere. But the weird thing was, to start 2018, he had that JD Motorsports number 4 car in the playoffs. In the first 23 races, he had 1 top 5 and 6 top 10s with a 16.2 average finish. Not bad at all, and he was actually almost 50 points above the cutoff. But Chastain would get another big break when Chastain would receive some starts with Chip Ganassi Racing in the 42 car. His first start with the team would be the 24th race of the season at Darlington. In that race, Chastain was the dominant force of the day, but late in the race, this famous incident took place.
You saw it, the battle for the lead heated up to the point where they were side by side trying to come out of turn 2, and contact with the wall for Ross Chastain, spin for Kevin Harvick, and the caution has come out here at Darlington.
We've seen this before, haven't we?
Yep.
Dale, 2 cars just cannot fit on the exit of turn 2. Then there was a lap car to make it 3 wide, and you can see the results. Not enough real estate for everyone.
And Steve Ross came on the radio and said he wrecked us, and they all agreed.
Take another look at what happened.
We're all started right here, getting into turn 1. That lap car of the 40 is definitely going to hold up the 42. Harvick knows it. He tries to get through there. The 42 squeezes down. Harvick does not get out of the gas. He slides up. They both run out of real estate. I'm not sure how hard the 98 was into the 42 before the 42 hit the outside wall.
Now, while this incident most likely cost him the win, it showed some true promise, and it showed that Ross Chastain was more than just a mid-pack driver. Chastain wouldn't be in the 42 car the next race at Indy, but the race after, he would be back in the 42 car at Las Vegas, and in that race, Chastain would finally pull through.
Down the backstretch for the final time. The opportunity given to Ross Chastain. Coming out of turn number 4, he's going to earn his first win in the Xfinity Series.
Good job, boys.
Chastain won his first career NASCAR race, and everything seemed up for the future, especially with Ganassi announcing that he would go full-time for the team in 2019. But Ganassi's primary sponsor, DC Solar, would be involved in many legal issues, and this basically screwed Chastain for 2019, because this ultimately caused Chip Ganassi to shut down his Xfinity team. In 2019, Chastain would go back to Johnny Davis and was initially dedicated for the Xfinity Series. But in the Truck Series, he would go basically full-time with Al Neese and Neese Motorsports. Early in the season, Chastain actually won his first truck race at Kansas. So Chastain ended up pledging for the Truck Series and got a playoff waiver. But for the rest of the season, Chastain was one of the elites in the Truck Series.
The final lap of the race, and it's still green. Ross Chastain is going to come around, racing redemption at his hands. The wheel for Ross Chastain is still and perfect, and he has done it, winning at Gateway.
Nice job.
Good thing there's no turn 4 here, Vince.
Chastain is going to make it work again as he goes through turn 3 and will head towards home. Ross Chastain wins for the 3rd time this season, victorious at Pocono.
Chastain would go on to make the Final 4, but he came up short and finished the season 2nd. But also in 2019, he ran the full Cup schedule and over half of the Xfinity schedule, where he actually won a race with Colleague at Daytona. Of the 92 races across the top 3 series in 2019, he ran 77 of them. So that meant for almost half the schedule, Chastain was probably running triple duty. In 2020, Chastain would sign with Colleague Racing in the 10 car full-time, but his other series endeavors would be largely reduced. He would only run 9 races in the Truck Series and 8 in the Cup Series. But in Xfinity, a lot of people expected him to be a serious championship contender and that he would win multiple races. But he just didn't win. Now while he went winless, he was unbelievably consistent. He led the series in average finish and top 10s. Chastain failed to make the Final 4, but overall he had a really solid season. 15 top 5s, which was 4th in the series, 27 top 10s, which was 1st, and an 8.2 average finish, which was also 1st. In 2021, Chastain would go full-time Cup racing with the team that he was supposed to go racing for in the Xfinity Series just 2 seasons prior, Chip Ganassi Racing. How ironic. Now, expectations for Chastain were modest, maybe a win and a playoff appearance, but that just wasn't the case. In 2021, Chastain was just massively inconsistent and only had 3 top 5s and 8 top 10s all season. He ended the season 20th in points with an 18th place average finish. Now while the season progressed, it would be announced that CGR was being sold to Justin Marks and Trackhouse, and all of their assets would go to them. So this left Chastain without a ride for 2022. Trackhouse originally wanted Chastain's teammate at the time, Kurt Busch, but Busch would be signed to 23XI and Toyota. So Chastain was signed to Trackhouse for 2022 in the 1 car. Now in 2022, the expectations were all over the place. Some predicted Trackhouse to be a mid-pack team like they were the year prior with Suarez, and some said that they were going to be like the team they had bought out, Chip Ganassi Racing. Now to start the season, he wrecked out in the 500 and had a little bit of a rough day at Auto Club. But then at Las Vegas, he was running up front and leading laps and was in the mix all day. In the end, he came up short and finished 3rd, but he showed a lot of promise for Trackhouse. In the next race, he would be in the mix late but finished 2nd. Then, in the next race at Atlanta, he finished 2nd again. But then, going into the 6th race of the season at COTA, Chastain was in the mix all day, and in the end, he would pull through.
Allmendinger's there. Opening door up.
He won't open this one up though right here.
Nope. Oh, he's going to use.
AJ's going to open it for him.
Moved him. Moved him. AJ moved him. Is he going to get moved back?
Chastain comes back.
Chastain, will he answer?
And Bowman wants to steal it.
Oh, he'll get the chance. Bowman's under him.
Oh, my God.
Chastain's going to have to move them both. You're going to have to move them both.
Oh,
he is.
Oh. And around goes Allmendinger off the bumper of Chastain. And Ross Chastain beats and bangs his way to turn 20 and off the corner to the checkered flag.
Hey, I don't mind that. He got moved and moved him back.
Absolutely.
Great job, boy.
Chastain would win his first career race and smash his first watermelon in the Cup Series. But then, just 4 races later, he would win again.
Now watch the momentum with the 1 car.
Too far out, 3 back.
Kyle Busch.
He's out of long ways. Here comes a run with the 5.
Kyle Larson, big push. Does it go to the outside?
He's going to have to. Here he goes.
And he's in the wall.
Opens the door up for the 1 of Ross Chastain.
And on the outside, Kyle Larson added. Oh my gosh.
At this point in the season, everyone thought that Chastain was a dark horse championship contender. Now he did cool off in the middle part of the schedule, but then the playoffs rolled around. In the round of 16, he cruised through. In the round of 12, he would squeak through despite having a bad showing at the Roval. In the round of 8, Chastain would make his mark. In the round of 8 opener at Las Vegas, he would be up front late, but he just couldn't overcome the fresh tires on Logano, and he would finish 2nd, and left 18 points above the cutoff. At Miami, Chastain was solid all day long and finished the race 2nd again, and left the race 19 points above the cutoff. But in the cutoff race at Martinsville, Chastain was pedaling from 7th to 13th all day, finished 8th in Stage 1 and 8th in Stage 2, and all seemed fine. But the problem was Christopher Bell. Bell had a disastrous race at Miami, and was well below the cut line, and he was running up front. Chastain was 2 points behind Denny Hamlin, who was running 5th, and Chastain was in 10th. All hope seemed lost. But on the last lap, Chastain would do the unthinkable.
The 1 and the 11. Hamlin fighting for every point right now. Denny Hamlin, 2-point favorite to get in as the championship 4. Bell out of turn 4. He's going to do it. He's won his way into the championship.
Let's go get us a championship.
And the fight for the point right at the line. The one of Chastain past Hamlin.
It was a video game move off into turn 3. He put the car against the wall wide open all the way around turn 3 and 4.
Chastain, Elliott, Bell, and Logano are going to fight for a championship in Phoenix. Take a look at what he did.
I have never seen anything like that before in my life.
This got Ross all the way to 5th and gave him enough points to advance to the Final Four. This move would go viral, and the move would become known as the Hail Melon, and this would go down as one of the best moves in NASCAR history. Now, going into the Final Four, a lot of people had Chastain circled as the champion, but this just wasn't meant to be. In the finale, he would qualify 25th, and while he did get all the way up to 3rd, Dirty Air and Joey Logano having a teammate buffer and Ryan Blaney basically kept him from getting by. And Chastain finished 3rd in the race and 2nd in the championship. In 2023, Chastain would start the season very consistently and won halfway through the season in Nashville. But in the later part of the season, neither he or Trackhouse could keep up. He cruised through the round of 16 but folded in the round of 12. Now, Chastain did win the finale at Phoenix, but the season was nowhere near the success from 2022, and so far in 2024, he's in playoff contention yet again. Now, Ross Chastain has had a very up and down career, from driving for mid-pack teams and borderline backmarkers to becoming a top driver in NASCAR. Truly a great story. So, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for another video.